WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Welcome to the Havoc Hour, presented by Stockton Mortgage, your power play in mortgage lending.
NMLS 8259.
Call Jen DiTullio at 402-350-0392 for all your mortgage needs. Now, let's head to Zambrewski's upstairs at the Ice Sports Complex.
And good evening to you as we are live once again from Zambrewski's inside of the Iceplex. I am Joe Hunk, rocking, really, it was just a $20 jacket that they had at the store. I'm not even going to lie. I got this thing on Sunday night, just 100% walked in, saw it. We're going to rock this thing tonight. As there, make sure every single week, whenever you're at a game, walk in. Havoc always have these signs that are always around the Havoc store, letting you know what jackets and shirts and sweatshirts and all that are on sale, so you can pop in and hop in on some deals as well. But we appreciate you rolling in tonight and joining us here at Zambrewski's inside of the Iceplex. There are a lot of Havoc fans. There's also probably a lot of parents that have no clue what's going on. So every single week, we are here for the Huntsville Havoc as we come in and kind of talk about the team, what's going wrong, what's going right. Okay, there might have been a little bit more wrong than right this week, but we're going to talk about that as we're going on. And obviously, this is always brought to you by Stockton Mortgage and Jen DiTullio. Make sure that you give her a call at 402-350-0392. And yeah, this week was kind of just a strange week. We had some road games. Obviously, we had our third of four games on WAFF 48-3 that took place on Valentine's night up in Knoxville. And then we came back home for the game on Sunday, took an overtime loss, but we did become tied for first place once again with Peoria. Went down to Birmingham yesterday, and that's all we're going to say about that. We just went down to Birmingham. That's all I was going to say. Went down, toured some of the city, and then just came back. That's all that happened on that. But some things that you do want to remember as we start to get going, because Coach Blaas is about to be joining us here in just a few moments, is like 4 of the last 5 games that this team has played in, they've either finished the game in overtime and or a shootout. So a lot of skating, a lot of time on the road, a lot of time in the bus. And then also 5 of the 6 games that they've played over the course of the last couple of weeks have also been on the road. So it's been a long road trip. We've got a lot of those things that have been going on. And also, part of this is also the fact that if you missed it earlier today, Cole Reginato is officially on the 14-day IR. And so that's going to play into some of the stuff that's going to be happening over the course of the next few weeks. But March 1st, which is going to be a home game versus Birmingham, that is going to be the last of the WAFF 48-3 games. So make sure that if you can't make it out to the arena and make it to Probst Arena, that you'll be able to watch it on 48-3. And so that is how we're kind of getting going tonight. But the best part about Havoc Hour is the fact that everybody here, as well as everybody that's watching on YouTube, Facebook, X, wherever you're watching, has the ability to ask questions, whether it's for the coaches, whether it's for the players, whether it's for everybody. You have that opportunity. So what you want to do now is you want to get in on the chat, go ahead and write those questions in. Once you write them in, we've got them going. We're going to ask the guys all of that because technically we have 2, or even counting Coach Blaas, 3 guys that are returning for their time here in the Havoc Hour. Noah Finstrom, former UAH Charger, as well as Craig McCabe, who was kind of on the Havoc Hour, but kind of wasn't. It was kind of a weird thing because it was all during the skills competition. So he may look a little bit different than he did that time when he was in the skills competition, but he's going to be joining us here in just a little bit as well. So you can hop in with those questions. We're going to get those going here as we get everything going here from Zambrewski's. And while you're here, say hello to Tanya. But also remember that there is happy hour $1 off beer all the way through 9 o'clock tonight. So there's tons of that you can come in and enjoy your time. And we also try to make sure that no hockey pucks come up here because we have found out that we are subject to having to duck every once in a while because sometimes some people hit the crossbar. That's all I'm going to say. When we come back, let's talk to Coach Blaas. Let's talk to him about not just what's happened over the past couple of weeks, but he is the video coach. So his job a lot of times is to literally watch the film and analyze it during the game in real time. So we're going to get a lot of X's and O's with Coach when we come back. You can start getting those questions in as well. And trust me, I've kind of already started peppering him with some questions, so don't feel bad if you just want to ask him a bunch of X's and O's questions. We're going to get to that as we continue, as we are live from Zambrewski's here for the Havoc Hour on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WZZN TV.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well-trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
Are you trying to find a new house? Are you trying to find the right loan, the right people to do your loan? Look no further than the Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green. John Kendall, the Vice President of Mortgage with me. John, when they need a loan, and I say they, when people need a loan, it's about them.
That's right, Scott. Our whole motto is it's all about you. We're going to be okay. You're the one making the investment. We want to make sure that you're taken care of.
How do they find you?
Give us a call at 256-507-9180, or they can catch us online at bankoffrankewing.com.
It's Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green, where they take the home loan to you and they make it all about you. Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green is an FDI insured bank as well as an equal housing lender.
NMLS number 446707.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
In football and in finance, the best offense is a good defense. Neighbors Wealth Management has joined forces with Alliance Group to provide Alabamans with world-class financial service on both sides of the ball. Get the expertise to grow your wealth and protect your assets all under one roof. Give us a call and let's work together to turn your personal financial franchise into a perennial powerhouse. 256-469-2324 or visit us at neighborswealthmanagement.com. That number again is 256-469-2324 or neighborswealthmanagement.com.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Follow us on Facebook at 97.7 ESPN.
Okay, guys, show us what you got.
On Twitter at 97.7 ESPN. Online at 97.7ESPN.com. We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Money's the conversation. You on vacation. We getting paid, so we on vacation. I did it for the fam. It's whatever we had to do. It's just one.
Havoc Hour going live now inside of Zambrewski's, inside of the Iceplex. All you got to do every single Tuesday or any other day that you may want to, because you may or may not need this spot coming up here in the next few weeks. You may come up here to see possibly something having to do with the Havoc. So outside of what's going on with the Havoc Hour, right when you walk into the Iceplex, walk straight up the steps. It doesn't matter if you go to the left or right. You'll be able to head straight to Zambrewski's by walking all the way through the rink, and you will see that at the very end. As right now we are joined by Havoc video coach Chris Blaas. Coach, did I say it's video coach? Is it the right term for what you do?
Assistant coach.
Oh dang, I am so bad about this. Okay, assistant coach. I totally screwed this up. So okay, so assistant coach at Coach Blaas. But when you were on with us the first time, I didn't know everything in which you did, because I was really just now starting to hang around the team a little bit more. But I've started to kind of see what you do in between periods, as well as like right when the game starts. Because for a lot of people that don't know, you can even watch this now. Coach, you're there for the national anthem, you're there for intros, and then the very moment the game's about to go, you book it and you go in there. So for a lot of people that weren't here last time, what all is your role when it does come to stuff like that what you're doing during the game?
So I come on the bench, like during warmups, I'll go up. So a lot of times Ty and I go out and watch warmups. We'll see the opposing lineup. Sometimes the teams will swap lineups before the game. So you're really just going to watch warmups. But sometimes you go out to see what the line combinations are, what the D pairings are, who's going to be the starting goalie. And then, I go out for the anthem. And once the anthem's over, and it depends, it's building by building. Like I get to do that at home. Some of the buildings on the road, like where we are compared to where the bench is, I don't get that luxury. I have to just sit behind. But then between, like, when the game starts, we're live capturing the game into the computer. Like we're connected into the internet in the building, and we have like a recording device that goes connected between two laptops. And then literally we set up like a tagging window, like goals for, goals against, shots on goal, whatever the situation might be. And as that happens during the game, I tag it. I hit that. It has a hotkey to it. Like for a goal, it's G. For a breakout, it's B. If it's a breakout against, it's Shift B. Whatever we set it up as, or whatever I set up. Stu and I talked about it. And then at the end of the period, I close out that period's file and I reopen it. So you have 18 minutes between an intermission. So Stu and Ty come off the bench, and I get it all set up and plugged into the TV we have in the office. And then Stu will sit down, and like he'll start going. Like him and Ty will take notes on their score, and I take my own notes too. Like their perspective on the bench and what I can see on the TV from overhead. Yeah, they're different. So sometimes, and Stu will be like, "What did you see in the period?" Because and plus when you're running forwards and you're running D, sometimes you get hung up with what's going on the bench. You miss stuff during the game. So I'll have my notes. He has his note. We all have our notes, and we just kind of have situations that they'll find it. And like I said, if we have turnovers, whatever, he'll basically from the 18-minute mark, 17:30, it takes 30 seconds by the time he gets back there, and we get it all set up. It's about 10 minutes when he goes on the US team. It's 7.5 minutes to kind of see what we want to go over. And kind of go over with the team. And then we might go back to the computer in the video from like 9 minutes to 5 minutes left. And then like I get everything set back up for the second period, and they get back on the bench. And then in the third period, I'll come on the bench. Like yesterday, for example, I ran the forwards, and Stu just watched. Like so, it gave him an opportunity to kind of see what was transpiring in the game, so he can coach more. Like guys come off the bench, come off the ice, he could talk to the players. Where so we've done a little bit of that as well, but between the first and second periods, and it's also building dependent too. Like we've got like in Fayetteville, we don't have internet, so I'm on the bench all 3 periods. And then which makes my post game workflow really heavy because I have to download the game afterwards, then tag it all, and then I got to share the files.
Pull players away in a fight.
Yeah, don't get me started on that one. So, and in Roanoke, we've had a couple issues with the internet, and so there've been some buildings where we just don't have the internet to do that. Where we're fortunate at the BBC where the internet and everything's good enough to where we can hardwire into the computers and do that. So it's, but no, like that's my role in the sense of during the game in the first and second period, like communicating, and we're talking about it between periods.
Okay, so let me ask, because we do have a lot of Havoc fans in there. How many of you guys are at the arena for games, like a lot of times, on season ticket holders, that sort of thing? Okay, how many of you guys actually like watch the games at home, like flow hockey, all that sort of stuff? Okay, I see the hands. Reason I ask is because when we're at home, it's kind of my job when am on the bench to try to get Coach Stefan as he's walking off of out of it, but there's sometimes here recently, like he's been throwing the shoulder my way. Like, it's been like hey, I'm just going to keep walking at like I don't see Joe and I'm just going to go straight to it. What did I do wrong? Like, is it what's going on with it? See, we have such a finite amount of time between periods, especially, like if we're struggling or like, for example, after that second period against Roanoke, we didn't play very well. They made a couple of adjustments. Like I said, you have 7 minutes to kind of go through the clips. I mean, I think I told you last time, I'm clipping 175 to 225 clips a period. Wow.
From every situation, whether it's a zone entry, a breakout, a shot on net, a goal scored, whatever it is. And you have to we might have 13 scoring chances that period. Well, each clip is 15 seconds long. So then you're trying to match up the time. And sometimes with flow hockey, the score bug's not correct. So like, you're going by memory. Like like, okay, I remember that this is how that play originated, kind of like what I was showing you before off air. Like that's that's the clip we're looking for, but you might have to skip through 7 or 8 clips to get to that point because it's the time on the scorebug's not right.
So the moment that the clock hits 0, everybody's leaving the bench. You guys seriously only have a window of like this much to try to go back over everything that you just went through and edited.
I mean, we're looking for certain things. Like we're not going to watch 220 clips in 7 minutes, but like we're looking, for example, like Roanoke scores 2 goals in the second period against us, or the goal we gave up in the, or how we score our goals. We want to see how that originated, or what was our breakdown, so we can address it. Maybe it's like you said, maybe they're doing something we didn't pick up on a pre-scout or whatever, or maybe it was just sometimes just they were better than us, so we made we turned a puck over. We want to see how it originated, so we can correct it, go over the guys. Because a lot of times what we'll do is we'll also pull the players will come into the office. Hey, can you go over that penalty kill? Can you go over that power play? So like a lot of times if we give up a power play goal, or they have we're on the penalty kill and the team has a couple good looks, that penalty kill unit's coming in the office. They want to see that right away.
Yeah.
So they can say, okay, this is what they're doing. So the next time they're on the penalty kill, you can tell a player. Today's generation's all visual learners.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah, so they're all they're all staring at their phones and iPads. I have two teenage boys, so like I grew up with that. Raising 2 kids that way, but they want to see it. It's one thing for us as coaches to tell them,
absolutely, but
they want to have the visual look. So that's most of the guys today, if they can see it, they'll make the adjustment better than us just telling them in real time, even in real time.
Well, I think that even with us fans, a lot of times, even if we're watching like on Flow Hockey or anything, we'll be getting mad at a guy being like, dude, you're missing your spot, or like, how did you go left when you should have went right, or like, how's that goalie missing this sort of thing? And I mean, like, obviously there have been times like, we look at the score of the game like it was yesterday and everybody wants to automatically blame the goalie. And they're like, dude, the goalie, like, what the heck? He's horrible. No. But like from you're sitting here and you're getting to actually watch it in video and you're analyzing a lot more, with somebody like Coburn, who is coming in a backup role. Yeah. He's not getting everyday reps. I mean, that kind of happens when Robo is playing as well as he does. So in his scenario, what are you seeing with him as he continues through his journey of, getting started in pro hockey?
I think in his situation, he came in off the bench in Knoxville after we had the fight, and like the first save he made was a wide open one-timer from the slot. Like he's played well for us. Like he kept that score 3-2, and then we did our thing in Knoxville and scored 4 and answered 1-7-2. He stole the game in Fayetteville for us. I mean, we went 2-1. I mean, he made a lot of huge saves. Like we defended well, but we only scored at the end of the day. We only scored 1 goal in regulation. Mm-hmm. Like his margin for error in that game was razor thin. The game he started against Pensacola, we weren't good. And even yesterday, like we didn't play well. Yeah. And it's tough for a goalie. And I say this is also, my kid was a goalie, I was a goalie dad. Everyone wants to point the finger at the goalie, but like if you really sometimes do sometimes it's a deep dive. And sometimes if you just kind of put the game back on, you're like, oh, like, man, that guy was wide open in front, or man, we didn't pick that guy up in front on the rebound, or it's a team effort. It's a team effort when we win. It's a team effort when we lose. It's, like I said, in his situation, and it is tough because like Robo's, playing 3 out of every 4 out of every 5 games. And then when you get your opportunity, like you got to perform. And, he's done that, for the most part. He's been really good for us.
All right. So we have a couple more minutes with Coach before we get to the guys and we get them up here. So one of the things that I was kind of curious about that people may have missed the last time that you were on is, Coach Stefan obviously played for the team. Coach P played for the team. you have played hockey, but also you did like a radio show. Like what was? I'm trying to remember everything that it was with you on this, because at some point in time you were like a radio host.
So when I coached junior hockey in Wilmer, Minnesota, the sports director there, Todd Bergeth, we did the Warhawk Hour, where the team I coached was the Wilmer Warhawks. So when we were home we had a Friday night home game, we would morning skate at 10 o'clock. The radio station was literally around the corner from the arena. So we would morning skate from 10 to 10:25, 10:30. I'd get off the ice, change out, get off my skates off really quick, put my clothes, I'd get out of my warm-up suit and drive to the 2 minutes to the radio station. And I'd sit on the radio with Todd Bergeth from 11 to noon.
Yeah.
And we did a radio, we did the Warhawk Hour. We would preview the upcoming weekend or whatever. If we went on the road, we had a road game Friday. Obviously, we didn't do that on Friday. I would come in on Mondays and do the Warhawk Hour from Monday from he had the radio slot from 10 to 1.
Got you.
So on Mondays, I had it from 12 to 1 with him, and we would do the weekend recap of whatever happened that weekend. And it was good. I had a lot of fun with it, and he was super knowledgeable. So, and, him being a Minnesota guy, he, knew the sport, and he was at a lot of our games. He was a sports director, so he would come to a lot of our, a lot of the home games. So he had firsthand visual of what was going on as well. So yeah, I have some experience doing this. It was, we had a lot of fun with it.
Okay, no, you actually have a way more than a lot of experience, because the moment you hopped on, he's like, all right, I'm good. I started the first time you came on, I go, do you need to? No, dude, I know how to adjust my own mic. Like you don't have to do this with me. I'm good on this. And so, part of this as well is we did talk a lot of X's and O's with you, because of the fact that that's a lot of what you do during the game. But with Coach P and as well as Coach Stefan, we've kind of wanted to have a little bit more fun with that sort of stuff. So there's a lot of questions that are coming in that are for the guys as well, but then there's also some for you, because we have a couple of people that are just kind of curious about you yourself. Now, these don't have to be sports/hockey answers. Okay. Just saying, because one of them in here is simply just wanting to know what your favorite movie is.
My favorite movie.
And it doesn't have to be sport. You don't have to say Slapshot, because it's the hockey show.
Slapshot.
Okay.
I tend to always go to my favorite movie is The Sandlot.
Why The Sandlot?
You're killing me, Smalls.
Okay, I didn't know. Okay, so are you saying that to me, or is that the reason?
It's a movie. I grew up as my teenage years, and I've always people who know me well, my wife's actually listening right at home back in Indiana. She's like, that answer doesn't surprise her.
Yeah. Okay, by the way, if she's watching, you can feel free to also throw anything into the chat. Okay, we have had players that have had their friends throw stuff in. I'm letting you know right now.
Don't give her any ideas.
If you're wanting me to ask, he's on the stage right now. So I'm trying to give you that opportunity to type this up. You said Sandlot. Was hockey always the first love, or what was it?
So actually, I was a multi-sport kid. I multi-sported all the way to 17, 18 years old. I think if I look back on it, my best sport was lacrosse.
Yeah.
I was really good in high school. If lacrosse was as big then as it is now, I probably don't ever pursue hockey after that. I mean, hockey talent-wise, probably my third sport. And oddly enough, I was a really good bowler. I quit bowling at 17 with a 220 average. I could have almost turned pro as a teenager. I was that good.
You had a 220 bowling average?
Yeah, I bowled in 3 leagues a week, and I always worked it around hockey and lacrosse. A lot of times your hockey games on a Saturday would be in the evening. So I would bowl the 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. lacrosse leagues. A lot of times on lacrosse games 2 in the afternoon. So there were times on Saturdays I would literally get up in the morning, go bowl, from bowling, go right to play a lacrosse game, then go play a hockey game. And then Sunday, you always play Sunday morning games. Hockey wise, or Sunday at noon, I would bowl Sunday morning, go play hockey, and then you always had that midweek lacrosse game. And I always bowled in a Wednesday night league. It was as a teenager, I bowled in a Wednesday night league with my dad.
Yeah,
my dad, my grandfather. I was technically too young, but I was really good. So my dad, my grandfather brought me in, at 14, 15 years old. They're he's fine, and they put a wristband on me so I couldn't drink alcohol.
Right.
So I can't, because that's what you do. A lot of times when you bowl as an adult, you're pounding beer.
That's part of it. It's again, you get bowling, and then you also have the pitcher right there beside it. Yeah.
So no, and then I played a little bit of baseball. I played football. I was really athletic as a kid, but hockey was always the love. But I think on talent, it was probably lacrosse.
So answer me this, because I have just recently started doing a lot of different sports for UAH. I've been doing play-by-play and things like that. And so for the first time ever in my life, I called a women's lacrosse game a couple of weeks ago. And so when the UAH called me and asked me to do it, they're like, hey, are you going to be available to do this? I said, oh, yeah, sure, no problem. And so I'm sitting down and I'm watching film, but I'm watching it of men's lacrosse.
Totally different game.
That's my question.
Totally different game.
Why?
It's same thing with women's hockey. Like I always say this: you watch a women's lacrosse game, you watch a women's hockey game. They play the game the right way, fundamentally sound. They're disciplined. They're in the right spots. They just. It's the men like it's faster, probably a little more violent. Like the men like beat the crap out, like slash each other with sticks. It's way more physical. I just like I said, I always go back to the women's side of it. They play the game better, smarter, more fundamentally sound. So when you watch it too, it's like you watch a women's hockey game and the women can play. Like you watch a U.S. Women's Canada game, the girls are good, but you watch them play, like they can literally just put pucks into areas and they're there. Like they're in the right spot. They don't turn the puck over as much, and they're really talented as well. So and they play the game at a fast pace. But
well, see, and I kind of feel the same way about like men playing baseball and women playing softball. It's smaller fields, so there's less room to make a mistake. So the games are similar, but obviously there's different pitches and stuff like that. But like with a ground ball to shortstop, the shortstop can bobble the ball and still turn two. But in softball, you can't.
No.
Like it almost has to be perfect every single time.
110%.
Which makes me appreciate it more because of how perfect everything has to be to make sure that you get, like when the Women's College World Series happens, like I'm glued to it.
Oh yeah, those girls can play. I mean, and the fact that they're hitting 65, 71-hour underhand pitches and that are rising and moving and like, yeah.
Okay, so final question for you, because now he mentioned 220 bowler. Do you always spin? Is it a strategy to try to spin the ball and to have a curve?
Well,
like,
I mean, for me, I haven't bowled, consistently in a while.
Dude, you rolled a 220 right now. You could go into a coma for 5 years and you would know what to do.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's always about hitting your marks. Like for me, it was make sure you hit between the second and third arrow.
Yeah,
like, and you're always looking for that. It's gotten way more. I kind of watch it sometimes on TV, like if there's nothing else on, and it's way more technologically advanced, the ball speeds and stuff like that. And a lot like back when I was bowling, guys now bowl like this without any holes in the ball, like or just the one like this. When I was bowling, you always had your two fingers in your thumb, and it was a lot of your elbow and your forearm, but you're always looking for your landmark, kind of like, and not always spin. Like if you're trying to pick up a spare, like one of the 7 or 10 pins, 9 pins, you're just throwing right at it basically, because that was my strategy. I didn't want to like start messing around with action trying to bring it into if I could just throw it straight at the pin, but when your first shot, you always, because you're trying to get the spin on the ball to come through the pocket and blow the basically move blow the pins up. Whereas when you're trying to pick up a spare, you don't want to get I never wanted to get too creative with it. Like, okay, you got your 2 pins here, going right at it. But like that, it just depends on what the pins were, what the alignment of the pins were, how you sometimes you needed to spin the ball in. Like I said, if it was a single pin, just go right at it.
Okay. All right. Well, see, this is how he is with everything. He's technical, which is the reason why I love it. I absolutely do, Coach. I absolutely appreciate it. Thank you so much. Now, guys that are about to come on, no offense from Craig McCabe, is there anything that as the X's and O's guy that we need to ask him?
X's and O's guys.
I know, but like, dude, you definitely
No, I mean they've both been good for us, and like I said, we're having a great year, and they've both been really good for us, and they're playing well, and I heard you made the comment like it was kind of a tough weekend. Like, it's been a little bit of a grind, like it was, but like we go in Knoxville, we win. Like I said, the Roanoke game, like we played well. I just, like you said, we come back and we had a little bit of a gap where we weren't good, but we come back from 3-1 down, and they're a big part of that, and it's, Gaber was here last year. Finney's a rookie, and it's, you're going to have some ups and downs, but they've been pretty consistently good for us. And
well, and it doesn't help the 4 out of the 5 games were either overtimes or shootouts. Like, doesn't that kind of wear you down a little bit, or does it?
Yeah, and I think what happened Sunday is like you come back from 3-1 down, we tie it at 3 with the extra attack, or we dominate the overtime. We have like 6 really good looks. We have the power play at the end. We don't score. You lose in the shootout. There's a little bit of an emotional letdown to that, and it's part of it, and like I said, but yeah, there's a lot of bus time, and thankfully, we're home this weekend, and then like the travel lightens up a lot. We only have, I think, 2 hotel stays the rest of the year. We're going to Evansville for one night and go to Macon for one night.
You're literally now on the countdown. It's not a count up anymore. It's now.
We are officially at the 3-quarter pole.
Wow.
This Friday night will be game 42. That's the 3-quarter of the market season. So yeah, Ty and I were actually talking in the office today, man. He's like, "Man, we're at lunch today." And he's like, "Man, it's February 18th already."
Yeah.
I mean, 2.5 months from now, like hopefully 2.5 months from now, beginning of May, like we're got the President's Cup sitting right there.
Well, and that was the reason I was talking about everything you can do as Zambrewski's, is because I know even like last year, like, one of the games happened here. It's that sort of thing is, there's more reasons to come here for that, not just this. So no, Coach, I deeply appreciate it. It's awesome learning and seeing what you do, because it is so cool to be like, hey, do you remember this play? And you're like, hold up, I can pull this up real fast. And you literally were showing me things that again, still trying to learn the game. And I'm going, wait a second, was this right? Was this supposed to happen? And that, and you're literally doing like a visual breakdown, like you're John Madden over here, just breaking everything down.
Yeah. I think part of that is, we're all fans.
Yeah.
It's easy, as we watch sometimes, and it's hard for me. My wife will say, like, I have a hard time watching a game as a fan.
Oh, yes.
Because you see things, you're just like, and that's what's been cool about the Four Nations. The guys are so good. And, and I'm an American. I want the U.S. to win. But sometimes, they have a breakdown. And it goes to show. I mean, these guys are making $7, $8, $10 million a year, making the same mistakes our guys make. It happens. These guys, they're putting forth their best effort. They're trying their best. And sometimes you're going to have those breakdowns, and that's just part of it. And you just learn and be better. But no, I tell people all the time, you have to have an appreciation. People see what goes on at 7:05 on a Friday. What they don't see is what goes on Monday through Thursdays, and the prep work and the details these guys go through, like the one-on-one video sessions. I've sat with both Caber and Finney and done video with them. We do group video. I've sat on the ice with after post-practice skill work, the time and effort these guys put in. And nobody's getting rich doing this. These guys are busting their
heart, absolutely,
working hard, trying to establish themselves as pro hockey players and take it as high as they can. What people don't see is the work that these guys put in every day in the gym, on the ice, while being, upstanding members of the community as well. And we have a great fan base here. These guys are always available for the fans, but sometimes I wish the fans could see what these guys do Monday through Thursday, or sometimes we play Saturday, Sunday, Monday through Friday.
Absolutely,
they work so hard at their craft.
All right, well, let's get to them when we come back then, because these guys are hanging out. We got a lot of Havoc fans that want to hear from them as well. Coach, thank you so much. Yep. I definitely appreciate it. We'll see Coach back here in a couple of weeks. We'll talk to him then. And when we come back, let's talk. No offense from Craig McCabe. They're going to be joining us right here at the table. So those questions, continue getting them in, because we're about to head off and talk to those guys as we continue from the Havoc Hour live at Zambrewski's, all courtesy of Stockton Mortgage and Jen DeTulio, when we come back on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WZZN TV.
97 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well-trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
In football and in finance, the best offense is a good defense. Neighbors Wealth Management has joined forces with Alliance Group to provide Alabamans with world-class financial service on both sides of the ball. Get the expertise to grow your wealth and protect your assets all under one roof. Give us a call and let's work together to turn your personal financial franchise into a perennial powerhouse. 256-469-2324 or visit us at neighborswealthmanagement.com. That number again is 256-469-2324 or neighborswealthmanagement.com.
I'm here with the Vice President of Mortgage from Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green. John Kendall has an opportunity for you.
That's right, Scott. If you're looking for a job, come see me. It is a great opportunity. If you want to get in business, you're bored with your dead-end desk job, give me a call. 256-507-9180.
It is Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green. They need you. Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green is FDI insured bank, as well as equal housing.
MLS number 446707.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer again. Baumhauer's Victory Grill is extremely proud to have recently received numerous awards, including being voted best wings in the state of Alabama. Other awards received include Best All-Around Restaurant, Best American Restaurant, #1 Sports Bar, Best Chef, Best Wings, and Best Dining Experience. Thank you for 43 legendary years, and we look forward to providing you an award-winning dining experience at every visit. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
It's into the Havoc Hour on Tuesdays, live from Zambrewski's upstairs at the Ice Sports Complex. The Huntsville Havoc's home away from home. And Havoc fans, you can earn reward points for attending. Presented by Stockton Mortgage.
In MLS 8259.
On 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, so we're calling an audible. I don't know what you call it in hockey, but we're calling an audible. What do you call it in hockey, Coach?
Line change, I guess.
Line change. Okay, this is kind of a line change. As a assistant coach, see, I get to do it a second time. There we go. Assistant coach Chris Blaas is joining us on the Havoc Hour. The reason why Coach is joining us is because the moment that Coach and I went to break, I said, "Hey, let me go grab the guys," and then we looked over, and right as we looked over, they're sitting at the bar. They just got their food here at Zambrewski's, and they were just like, they're munching as quickly and eating as quickly as they can. So Coach looks down, I was like, "Hey, man, I could kill some time until you guys are done."
I told him, I said, teamwork makes the dream work, so go eat your dinner and,
Well, and there was, I thought about it afterwards, and there was a couple things I was like, "Dang, Coach, I wish I could have asked you these things beforehand because we just went to break." But nobody can really see this on the camera, even though obviously you're not wearing your glasses right now.
Yeah.
You've got like right above the eye is like right there.
Yeah. And then
what happened?
So about 2 seconds left in Knoxville game, we're getting ready to go to overtime and start looking at the card like we're going to send out for the first shift 3-on-3. The puck came in the neutral zone. Third period's over. Wasn't paying attention. The guy from Knoxville went to fire it back in the zone for whatever reason, and as he shot it back in, it actually hit Gio Procopio's stick and hit me right in the face, hit me on the left eye. And funny thing about it, I was like Stu and some of the guys, gave the guy from Knoxville the business on the bench. And, it just stunned me really bad. Like my eyes sore, but I just started wearing glasses in September, and it just stunned me really bad. Like, and it broke my glasses. I had to get my glasses fixed Saturday before we, played Sunday. But I was like, I just want to make sure I wasn't. The great thing about it is Cody Miller, our athletic trainer, is actually standing right next to me. So like when it happened, I went down. Like he actually grabbed me and he's like, "You're not." He looked at me. You're not bleeding. You're good. Like just take a second. And yeah, once I got my bearings on me, it was fine. But it was like I just wasn't expecting it. Like these 2 seconds of go and the puck's in the neutral zone. Like to me, the third period was over. And most guys would just eat that puck. Nobody was expecting the guy to try to fire it back in. And like I said, just took a weird bounce off Gio's stick.
Does a puck go in the bench a lot? Because I had this happen to me like 2 weeks ago. Luckily I was actually focused on what was happening in the middle of the ice, and same thing. pass going across the ice. A blade was up. And
your cross ice pass is where it happens the most. Like when guys are trying to go east-west, like it might ramp off a guy's stick. You might get a deflected stick, and that's where pucks like fly into the crowd, fly into the bench. Like it's a lot of those on those east-west plays because the netting isn't in most buildings. The netting isn't on the side glass. It's only in the end zones.
Right.
So like I said, you'll get that stuff where the pucks will fly in the glass or fly into the bench. Sometimes on those cross ice passes.
So your wife is watching, right?
Yes, uh-huh.
So she knew whenever the question that popped up on the chat about the movie on this. Okay, so. I really wanted to ask you. I'm actually looking to see how Craig's doing over there with his food. You doing good? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So this isn't your only job.
Here, no. I'm actually transitioning. Like I was a critical care flight paramedic for like 18 years. And then like coming out of COVID, I was like, I don't want this to be my life anymore. And I've always been involved in the game. I played and then I scouted when I got done playing. I was an on-ice official for a long time. I refereed all the way into the American Hockey League and ECHL and college. And then in 2016, that's when I'm like, I want to be a coach. I worked for a team in Fairbanks, Alaska for 6 years. We had a ton of success. I took that and parlayed that into like my first head coaching job. And then from 2019, 2021, I stayed home in Indy, ran the youth program, worked for the ECHL team a little bit, but coached my kids team while I was running the youth hockey. But I was also a full-time paramedic, full-time flight paramedic as well, critical care paramedic. And I said, coming out of COVID, I was like, I was a head coach in the Vermilion in this league in Vermilion County before they folded. And then I was in ECHL last year. Like last year in Jacksonville, I worked a part-time job. I'm big into golf.
Yeah.
And I worked at the Dick's Sporting Goods, Golf Galaxy, PJ Superstores. And then here I work at, the golf area at Dick's Sporting Goods once, 1 or 2 days a week. But I also work, for Huntsville Hospital as a paramedic in the emergency room. I won't ever do it full-time again. But like, just like the players, like you don't make enough money. Like, it's a financial thing, some of it, but you just have to make a little bit extra money to like keep it going.
All right, so I can see. Yeah, he's almost done.
Yeah.
So you're telling me you will get done with a hockey game where you've sat there and you've broke down all this film and all that, and then you leave and then go and like get on a chopper?
And I don't fly anymore.
Okay,
I just work in the emergency room now. But like after practice, I basically am at the arena from like 6:30 to 2 in the afternoon. Then we'll go work from like 4 to 10:30 in the emergency room.
Okay, I have like 60 more questions about this, but they're done now.
The stars have arrived.
I'm just saying that they've got done with their food now and all that. You were good on this, so we're gonna do a line change live. I mean, it's not like you guys don't know how to do that, and so they're gonna go ahead and change lines on this as we're getting going with this. So, Coach, thank you so much, and I literally have so many more questions about the paramedics. Did you guys know that he was a paramedic? I mean, you got to put the mic on first, Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think so either. True.
All right, Coach. Thank you so much. Greg McCabe, Noah Finstrom hanging out with us right now. The questions are already starting to kind of flow in with this. Noah, this is your second true time on this, right? Like you've done this the first one. This one, say this one like I don't know, but it's this one. The last time he was on the Havoc Hour was during the skills competition, and he had a nice. Your hair was longer.
It was.
It was much longer. It was a lot longer. And I even told you this, and it's true right now. The first time I saw you over here, he had a long brown wig on because he had just won the strongest shot competition, 92 miles per hour. Is that right?
That is right.
Yeah. And I told you, I would have no clue what you look like without that because you were also rocking the massive glasses. If I hadn't have looked up your picture earlier, I would have had no idea. I'm not kidding you.
Yeah. I got a lot of compliments, so I might have to keep the hair growing.
I mean, no, you kind of do. I mean, it was majestic. And I think I even used that with you the first time. It was majestic on that. So
it worked too.
It did.
It worked.
See, and it did. It absolutely did. Nobody's answered this question for me. So I'm going to ask you guys, why was Buster wearing the yellow mask? I asked you. I asked Austin.
I think it was a personal preference. Right?
Really?
Probably for something with Sweden, I'm assuming.
Okay.
With the yellow and blue.
It may be. So speaking of that, 4 Nations. I know you guys have been playing, but also games have been going on while you guys have been playing. But how much have you been keeping up with it?
Oh, we watched that first Canada versus USA game, and we were all on our feet in our living room. So it was pretty cool to see. That was an electric start, and yeah, we're looking forward to Thursday.
Now, you both are Americans. So is there a divide? Like the Canada guys are for Canada, you guys are for America like that? Like, is that how it is in the locker room for it?
Yeah,
A little. Yeah.
a little bit. I know we live with Reggie, so we were talking our
Oh, really?
American smack. Yeah.
Okay, so the people have asking, and I did mention this 14-day IR with him. Obviously, not no specifics or anything, but like, how's he doing right now with everything? Because, look, I'll be honest. During that game on Sunday, he was standing right behind me as we were starting to get late into the third period. You could really see that look on his face of that, like, man, I really want to be out there for this. Like, I really want to be out. How hard is it for him right now not to be on that, especially with, the past couple of games, how they've went?
Yeah, definitely hard, but he's staying positive. He's sticking to the grindstone, and he's a veteran on this team, and he's definitely doing his part. And we love Reggie, and we're just hoping to see him back in the lineup soon.
All right, so enough of the real questions. Now I've got all these that are starting to come in. I've got some for you guys as well. With Coach and with you guys eating a little bit, we may go into a little OT, which, I mean, it's not unusual for you guys over the last couple of weeks, but we may do that just a little bit. So, all right, so Riley is asking on the chat, which you can get into as well. All you've got to do is watch whenever you're watching the video, whether it's on YouTube, X, or Facebook. Click on it, and in the comments, just ask your question. We're getting them right here. Riley wants to know about what is y'all's favorite song to play and listen to before a game.
Oh.
No, you shake your head like it's something you shouldn't say.
No, I mean, I'm not on the aux in the locker room.
Okay.
I don't really listen to music before, like, of my own. But I listen to not the stuff you would think people would listen to get pumped up for a game.
Are you listening to Beethoven? Like, what are you listening to? I mean, you listen to, like, easy listening, somebody whispering into your ear telling you that you're going to be a good hockey player? Like, what are you listening
It's
to?
good music. It's good music.
Is it good music?
Oh, yeah. It's got the vibes.
Okay.
Good music.
So what are the vibes? Tell us. Come on, you can say
I don't know how to describe it.
It's your music.
Uh,
It's good, though.
Dude, I have Spotify right here. If you just name a band, I can play it.
I mean, one of my favorites is Twiddle.
Okay.
They are.
Explain what Twiddle is.
Oh, man. I stumbled across them and haven't stopped listening to them since.
Okay. Twiddle.
It's very, I mean,
I would know
almost
it when
like
I know
psychedelic, but not
like Grateful Dead psychedelic, like Fish.
Not that far.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not that, yeah.
All right. So name your favorite song on here.
Ooh. Syncopated Healing.
Okay. So this is what you listen to.
Vibes.
It's a jam band.
Yeah,
That's
jam
the
band.
best way to explain it. That's a jam band.
My bad.
John, who is all about. Look at him. He's like, all right, Twiddle. TWIDDLE. Just letting you know. Okay, all right. So Twiddle. See, it's not that bad, is it?
No.
You made it. You
That's
made me
great.
seriously think that
No,
you were
it's
going to
more
sit here and.
Relaxing.
Yeah.
It's hard to describe it. That's
Yeah.
jam band's the way to get.
I mean, that was the first thing. The first thing I thought of is like, it is a jam band, very similar to like not your Grateful Deads, but those types of bands where they can go an hour long and none of the songs is anything you've ever heard because they're basically making up on the spot. Is that a good
Exactly,
way?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, what about you, man?
I listen to a lot of stuff. If I'm trying to get pumped up before a game, like I'm kind of with Caber. I don't listen to music on the like in the locker room or anything. But if I'm driving, like on the way there, I like to listen to a lot of EDM, like something to pump me up. And then one that just comes to mind is Bob Seger, Turn the Page.
Okay, that's legit.
Yeah, that gets me fired up.
Yeah, so you do the Seger version, not the Metallica version.
Seger, yeah.
Okay,
yeah, that's my karaoke go-to as well.
Okay, I'm glad you brought up karaoke because for a lot of people,
I'm not gonna do karaoke.
No. Okay, first off, I've already had people ask me if we could get you guys to do karaoke. I'm letting you know that was one of the first things on the show today. We had people calling in being like, hey, because at the time we didn't know who was joining us. So he said, hey, whoever it is, can you get them to do karaoke? And I said, it's funny that you bring this up because as I always behind the bench, I'm behind the bench with you guys a lot of times, and I walk all the way through the locker room to get to the bench. Well, this past Sunday, I'm walking through the locker room and there's this corner that has this tape on it that says Benito's Karaoke Corner. What in heaven's name is that? And I even have a picture of it. I can't show it because I've totally forgot to upload this thing. But it is right in front of the trainer's room, and it is titled Benito's Karaoke Corner.
This is the first time I've seen this.
Seriously?
I think it's the same for Caber.
Never seen that.
So yeah, so we showed this on the air today. I was so curious about what is Benito's Karaoke Corner.
We've got some questions for Benito now.
Yeah. Benito likes to sing, and he is a good singer.
Oh, is he for real?
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, but he likes to sing, and I enjoy singing with him.
Okay, so what is it? What do you sing with him? No, you're really walking yourself down a path that leads to you singing. You realize?
No. I'm not going to sing.
Okay.
I'm not claiming I'm a good singer. You asked me what my pump up song was, and
Riley asked. Yeah, Riley asked.
Thank you, Riley.
I'm just, but now you're starting to go down a path that makes me think like.
No, I'm trying to steer away and say Benito's a good singer.
Yes, but you also said that your karaoke song is Turn the Page. I mean,
my pipes are a little sore right now.
Okay, you're so lying right now. You are so lying. Okay, so there we go. There's that one. Okay, now here we go. So Summer asked a really interesting question. This is a deep question. Okay, I feel like this is going to be one that he's going to have a second to think about with this. Would you rather travel back in time or into the future? Told you we're not getting real questions on this thing today. We're barely even going to talk hockey.
I'd say back in time.
I agree with back in time.
All right, why back in time?
I'd be a way better hockey player.
I said the same thing about baseball. I would go back in time again. I can remember the second I would
way
go
better
to.
Hockey player and way richer.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, absolutely. That one, you could absolutely go there. Yeah. So, okay, so better hockey player, and you can go there. Okay, so, all right, so we have another question that is coming in now from the Huntsville Havoc Fan Cave. So if you're not familiar with that is a Facebook group that you can join. It is tons of Huntsville Havoc fans. And in fact, a lot of the fans, whenever these guys are on the road, we basically just do live commentary into the game during the game. So Sam wants to know, do you guys have a preference when it comes to brands, like your gear, your skates, anything like that? Because like even with him asking that, like I'm thinking like I see a lot of the brands that you guys have in sticks and all that sort of stuff on when I'm on the ice. What is the preferences on this? Like, is there a reason for the preferences?
Our league is Warrior League.
Okay.
So we have to use Warrior helmet, gloves, stick, and pants.
Okay.
But everyone's got their preferences from what they wore years prior.
Yeah.
I mean, Bauer's a big one, and CCM is another big one.
Yeah. I actually prefer the Warrior sticks, so I'm happy we're a Warrior League. I've used Warrior sticks my whole life. But like preference-wise, I've always used Bauer skates. In college, I switched to CCM, and it killed my foot for 3 months before I broke them in. I put a Bauer on, and it's like the glass slipper. It's so for preference and skates, it's Bauer for sure.
That makes sense. I mean, it's the same thing like a Nike or Under Armour type thing, like foot done. So I understand that.
Yeah.
All right. So Devin wants to know about y'all's role models. Who is y'all's role models?
Definitely my dad. That's number one, probably.
No, you can't just you can't literally just say my dad and just go, hey.
Well, there's different like my dad's my role model, but like if we're talking like who somebody I looked up to like growing up, other than him, I would say like Pavel Datsyuk, who he's absolutely my favorite player, somebody I watched growing up and something that I watched with my dad growing up. So we both have a little idolization for Pavel, but that's
well done. See, and the hockey answers are awesome, but now I want to know about the dad. Like now I want to know that part of it. Like why him? Like in that thing.
The sacrifices he made along with my mom to get me to where I am today is I can never repay them for it. So it's he's helped me along the way through hockey ever since I can remember. He played hockey, so he's helped me mold the person that I am today and get me to where I am today. So I look up to him for that for sure.
It's all on you now.
Yeah,
it's all on you.
Obviously, my parents. I've got 3 siblings, and we're a huge hockey family, like extended family. My dad played growing up. Backyard every year, he'd build us a rink, so we'd be out there and kill the neighbors, call the cops. That happened multiple times.
They call the cops because of pucks going through their window.
Noise,
okay, just double check.
Lights, because we had construction lights out there.
Those are miserable.
Boards, pucks banging against the boards till 2 a.m.
Wait, where'd you get construction lights from?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's 20 years ago.
I don't know. We've always had them. My dad just acquired them, and so my parents were upstairs with the other parents, hanging out, partying. The cops come. They think it's for them. It's actually for us, playing hockey outside at midnight, 2 a.m. But yeah, they've done everything. I mean, all of my siblings played hockey and lacrosse growing up, and if they couldn't be there, we were with another family, and they weren't there. They would love to be there. I mean, they've come multiple times this year to see me, and I've had so much support throughout my career, and I love it.
So you say, do they still live like in your hometown? Like, where do they live?
Yeah. Back in Rochester, New York.
Rochester, New York.
Yeah.
So I was curious because when I was looking you up, it said Webster, New York.
Yeah, so that's a town. But Rochester's city.
Who's like the most famous place from Webster? This is, if there was ever a go-to question that we're always going to ask during the show, it's always going to be like knowing your hometown.
Oh man.
So like, if for you, who would it be?
I don't think there's anyone from my little town, but
there's one. I've looked
Greg
this
McCabe.
up.
I mean,
Greg McCabe. Look at me.
Talking about overall, I'd say in Rochester, Eastman Kodak, where they started making film cameras.
Yep. Okay, so what about Noah? Let's see yours, because yours is a rabbit hole that we could really go down.
Oh, so
I know this. Like from New Baltimore, yes. Who it is. So I just want to see, like, when you think of your hometown and New Baltimore, Michigan, who is it that pops to mind?
No idea.
Okay, so this is where it could go down a rabbit hole. So yes, you watch. Do we have anybody here that loves conspiracy theories? Anybody? Okay, we've got one. All right. Does anybody in here love true crime? Okay, now the hands are starting to go. Here we go. Do you know who Roy Kellerman is?
No.
Okay. Does any of you guys know who Roy Kellerman is? Okay. Here's what it is, and this is from New Baltimore. Roy Kellerman was sitting in the front seat of the car that JFK was killed in.
From New Baltimore, Michigan?
From New Baltimore, Michigan.
No kidding.
She's shaking her head. Yes. So Roy Kellerman was a Secret Service agent that was sitting in the front seat with JFK and his wife in the back seat as they were driving through Dallas.
Wow, that's the first time I've heard that.
So I saw this and I went, okay, like I looked yours up and it was some person that just won a gold medal like 4 or 5 years ago. Like, no, who cares? But then I look at yours and it's like, I'm like, who is Roy Kellerman? It is a Secret Service agent that was, when you watch the film, you have the driver, obviously Jackie.
Yeah.
And then you also have him sitting in the passenger seat driving with them driving away. So that is considered famous now from New Baltimore.
Wow. Well,
yeah.
Thank you for informing me.
I told you we could go really down a rabbit hole and really morbid. It was just depending on how this was about to roll. But yes, that is the one with New Baltimore in there. So
it's not the greatest thing to be famous for.
No, but it's
not doing his job.
See, thank you.
That's a good point.
That is it. That's the first thing I thought of. Like, he's famous for not doing his job well.
Oh.
Like, that's what it is.
Oh my.
Like, you know?
Bringing shame to my hometown.
See, and that is called a celebrity right there. Is what it is called. So Matt, I think you guys know this one. Somebody named Matt says that he heard that you are a flat earther. Look at the smile.
Matt who?
Let me see this last name. Allen. Do you guys know of Matt Allen?
Is Maddie, go to bed.
Is it Maddie that was possibly like a center for this team?
Yeah.
Like, okay, that Matt? Okay.
Be other roommate.
Oh, is that the other roommate?
Yeah.
Okay, so flat earther. So tell us.
I'm not a flat earther. I don't claim to be anything. I believe the Earth is round, if anything. We should ask Maddie the same question.
Okay, Matt. Now we need to know again. I mean, you are a Havoc alum at the moment, so I mean, you can feel free to answer in the chat. And this is what's crazy is you said that you have siblings as well. One of yours is was it your older brother? It's a hockey player.
They all are.
They're all hockey players. Okay,
2 brothers and a sister.
So I say this because none of your family members have hopped on the chat yet, but his
Thank
has.
God. Oh, goodness gracious.
So Isabella.
That's my little sister.
Okay, she would like to know who your favorite sister is.
Well, I have 2 sisters.
Uh-huh.
And I love my sisters equally.
That's a good question.
Ended at that.
Okay, so the reason why I asked this is because I need to know now about what my son is about to go through, because he has a younger sister and my wife is pregnant with our next daughter. So he's about to be the only boy. So what does he go through as an only boy? What's he about to expect? 'Cause this is kind of what you went through.
Sisters fighting over clothes every day.
Hope you're listening, Isabella.
Yeah. Deciding where to eat is always a struggle. They always want something different. Just kind of for advice for him, just be a fly on the wall. Let whatever goes down with the girls, and let it be.
Okay, so I think I spoke too soon about you. Rory wants to know.
All right.
What's the best landscaping company in Rochester, New York?
Drew Perry Lawn Landscape Mower Maintenance.
Wow, that was like without even hesitation. Without even hesitation. I'm assuming is that your brother's?
Yeah, that's my younger brother.
Okay, so your younger brother is that one. Man, see now Kyra wants to ask both of you guys. By the way, we're in overtime. Again, not unfamiliar territory for you guys. For the last 5, is that right? Is that what it is for the last 5
really?
games? I think it is. Yeah, I think 4 of the last 5 games. I had this written down just a second ago. 4 out of the last 5 games that went to overtime and/or a shootout. So now it's 5 of 6. Kyra wants to know, what is y'all's favorite hockey memory from your childhood?
I'd have to say just playing on the outdoor rink
Is
in the
that
backyard.
The outdoor rink?
Yep.
Not getting called, not the cops getting called on you?
With all your friends and family, and just a great time.
All right.
I would say the first time I won a state championship, I played with Cameron Cervoni.
Yes.
We played with each other when we were 12 years old. That was the first state championship I won. And I'm trying to match that high ever since.
Well, no. So you mentioned Cervoni on this because Eric Olson, is that did I say his name right? Eric Olson.
Yeah.
For people that don't know this, or you may over the course of the last week, he plays for Knoxville. But you guys played together, what, junior hockey?
Juniors, yep. And 1 year in Philly, and then we relocated to Jamestown, New York.
Yeah, and so do you guys still keep up with each other and all that sort of stuff? Like, obviously, I mean, I know you saw him over the weekend, but...
Oh, yeah. We Snapchat each other, text each other every once in a while. We keep in touch. He's a great guy. One of my good friends from juniors.
And the only reason I knew this is because I was researching for the game that you guys have this weekend, because y'all played 2 against Knoxville. And I got to him and I started researching it, and I found the tweet that he had retweeted the moment you committed to UAH.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he had retweeted this, and I was like, wait a second. He knows him, and he knows, and there's does it surprise you guys with like how small of a world it is? Like for you, obviously,
It's so small.
And I think is it your brother that went to the same school now? Was it Cervoni that he went to the same school as?
And he went to school with Patesian and Duran last year. So, but yeah, the hockey world's small.
Yeah.
And it keeps getting smaller.
Yeah. You're just talking to him about Olson. I actually played against them in juniors together.
Yeah. He was on the New Jersey Titans. We were on the Philadelphia Rebels. So me and Olson played Caber for a little bit of a stint of the year.
Good heavens.
Yeah.
It's weird.
No, it is.
Small.
Well, it is weird. And again, and you know this because you played hockey here, but there's not that many like hockey schools like that. And we continue to kind of see these, they start to shrink a little bit more and more and more in this. And so like you guys playing D3 and all that, it's crazy to see how small this is whenever you are going up against guys that you play. Like we were talking to Cervoni last week, and unfortunately he was on the opposite side of Ryder and Ruffer with that national championship game.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, how did you walk into the locker room and you're looking at these two guys that are now your teammates, and you're like, God, you guys cost me a ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I lost to Ruff and Ryder 2 years in a row before they got to play Cervoni. So
at Wisconsin.
Yeah, at Stevens Point. So I'm familiar with going to Adrian as well. Yeah.
Oh, dang. Did you have to go to Adrian and lose too?
No.
Did everybody go into this?
No.
Okay.
Save me a trip up there.
All right. So the final question that we have with you guys before we wrap up, because we've gotten a ton of people that have asked questions, but another one that I found over the weekend when I was walking around the back room, ping pong. The ping pong leader. How do you guys, when do you guys play ping pong? Because for a lot of people that don't know this, there is a board that you guys keep that is a leaderboard for this going. I took a picture of it because I was kind of curious and wanted to ask you guys about it. When do you guys play ping pong?
I think whenever there's just like time, a little, maybe sometimes before practice, sometimes after. I've never played, so therefore the standings are not, final or accurate by any means.
It's not accurate. So you say you would be at the top?
I would hope to be up by the top, competing.
Okay.
I would hope to be competing.
Who is leading right now? Do you guys know?
I think the last time I said, Algie.
Yep. There's two players that are tied right now with 3-0. Alger and Gio are tied with 3-0. Stewie is 1-0. Risky's 0-1. So I was just curious about it. And Jack is 1-3. So I don't know if that's even worse than 0-1, but he is 1-3. So before we let you guys go, because apparently family members are watching as well, and apparently Matt is watching as well.
Yeah.
We appreciate this.
Go to bed, Maddie.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything you want to say to the family members before we get off tonight and we wrap up, OT?
Love you guys.
Yeah, love you guys and see you this weekend.
Why you gotta be so nice?
I'm only mean on the ice.
Dude, seriously, and I totally just cut you off, and we'll let you do yours all over again. What is the deal with defensemen and being so nice off the ice, and then the moment you get on the ice, it is totally different? Like, I'm standing behind Risk as he's on the ice, head bent over the boards, just going at a Roanoke guy, being like, you want to go? We'll go. You want to go? And I look down, the next thing you know, he's on the ice fighting. And then he comes off the ice and he's got the biggest smile that I've ever seen in my life. What is up with you guys in this? Like, what is this switch that you guys flip?
I don't know. As soon as you cross that line of the glass and you're on the ice, it's a whole different world.
Yeah. It's just different.
Okay. Well, I'm going to send you guys away with one thing specifically for you, because I have heard that I was told last week that even though you did win the hardest shot competition, that there may be somebody on the team that says that they could shoot harder. I just want to let you know.
I would love to beat them again.
All right. That's how we're going to wrap this up right there. There we go. All right. We appreciate it, guys. We appreciate you guys. Seriously, thank you. And also, by the way, I actually tried to stay away from UAH questions for you on purpose because I was like, you know what? That's the layup.
It's one of the reasons why I'm here.
Yeah.
So.
Well, do you keep up with the basketball team?
Not anymore. No.
Okay. Reason I ask is earlier today they just got named the number 3 team in the nation.
Really?
They've only lost one game this year. So just let me know.
Go Chargers.
Yeah, absolutely. and I appreciate you. And dude, you a lot cooler even without the hair.
Thank you.
You know.
Thank
Okay.
You. Appreciate
all right.
it.
Guys, they're going to be hanging around for a few minutes. If you guys want to take pictures, anything like that, can you give it up for the guys while we as we close up here tonight? Make sure we will be back Friday as we are getting ready for Knoxville in town. I'm sure it'll be a joyous occasion. We'll see you next on Friday down at the ice.